I guess I'm going to have to talk about Kalvin Garrah. Garrah. Who cares? Kalvin. So, who is Kalvin? Kalvin is a YouTuber who just happens to be a trans man and spent a lot of the beginning of his channel going through his transition and then moved on to other content which is controversial. And then Kalvin realised at some point that actually if he found people that were trans trenders or who were slightly out of the realms of what is socially acceptable, he could gain views and money. Well done, Kalvin, you cracked the code. By the way, some people have asked me, why does this happen? Why do people enjoy cringe compilations or things that seem relatively abnormal outside of the realms of general social consensus? I'm going to give you a quick answer. Evolution. There you go. If you've watched my channel before and you've watched any of my psychological videos, you know it all leads back to evolution, essentially cementing our own social status as normal within the group would lead us to have mates and territory and that as little cave people. So there you go, no one can say I'm not informative. So Kalvin obviously realised this basic human facet that we all have, by the way, and decided to go full force with it. He decided that, nah, I'm going to take down these trans trenders and these people I don't think are trans or trans enough. But this video isn't about trans medicalism, and this video isn't going to be talking about how trans do you have to be trans, because that's kind of a weird argument in itself. How trans do you have to be trans? Anyway, I want to talk about the harm that Kalvin caused by making these videos. This video series was sparked by the viral success of the first one he made on a person called Brennan. Now, I won't be going over what the video was about or how it affected Brennan specifically because they already have a 3-part video series going over it. I'll link that in the description. But it did cause Brennan a lot of harm. A lot of hate comments and harassment from Kalvin Garrah's audience because of what he said in the video. He constantly misgenders them even though their gender is in their bio and plain to see. He even acknowledges the fact that their bio says that they go by they, he, but ignores it completely and makes several different negative comments on their appearance. The hate got so much that Brennan actually had to leave the internet for a good couple of years until their recent comeback series. They were a tiny channel and their video only had 500 views at the time of Kalvin finding it. The video was Kalvin's first ever video to reach 1 million views. Yes, a video that only had 500 views on a channel that only had 2,000 subscribers spawned 1 million views and actually now has 2 million views. Not too long ago, Kalvin actually privated the video. However, the video is now back up. We're going to go over that later. But this was just the start of the pattern for Kalvin. He would go after many different people, including children. Yes, children. And essentially crap on them on his YouTube channel for views and money, and to point at them and go, haha, look how weird this person is. And then his audience, having seen the way that he addresses them in the video, would go and find them on their social medias and parrot the same sentiments. However, some of these sentiments would have been a lot harsher than what Kalvin said. For example, threats against their lives. I've been accused of bullying people in my videos before. The difference is I tend to only go after people who are a lot bigger than me and who can actually defend themselves if needed. I also only go after people I think who have done legitimate harm to other people. And I make it a point that these videos are only my opinion and isn't an invitation for people to go and harass the person the video's on. And if anyone has a problem with any of my videos that they're in, they can message me and I will remove it. The majority of these people Kalvin was going after were just enjoying their lives, just being themselves. They weren't preaching to people that they should harm themselves or others. They weren't trying to exploit their fans. They were just living their lives, and then Kalvin swoops in and points a spotlight on them that isn't so great and has led to real harm to these people, again including children. More recently, Kalvin has lost at least 40,000 subscribers because people are making videos talking about their experiences being in videos of his. How has he responded to all of this controversy? He ran away! Well, technically before that, he made a community post asking if he should respond to Brennan's video. He then messaged them, apologising, which Brennan didn't accept and shouldn't have to accept. The stipulation was, well, if you are really sorry, maybe you could send me all the AdSense you made off of the video of me, which Kalvin didn't do. And then there's this recent community post, and he's unprivated the video he made on them. The video that caused so much hate, harassment, and pain has been unprivated, and then he's just run off. What? Well, I'm not happy that Kalvin is obviously in a bad mental state, and I don't think anybody should be sending Kalvin any negative messages or hate that would add to that. And I also don't believe that people should be attempting to contact his university. How can this be the way that you address this? By not apologising to anyone. You apologised to Brennan privately, but from what I gather, you haven't talked to anybody else you've made videos on, and you haven't done it publicly. You should be apologising. If you are truly re-evaluating your views, perhaps you should start by making a public post and video explaining that you are sorry for what you did if you are indeed sorry for it. And this doesn't have to be an hour-long video going over every single thing you've ever done wrong. Of course, you have to address things that you did specifically so we know that you actually acknowledged them. But you can just apologise and try and make amends, and in Brennan's case, accept if they don't want to take your apology, because that's their right. Starting off a community post by saying you've had a mental breakdown is a massive manipulation of what's happened. You're getting some of the backlash that you gave so many other people, including children, and are yet to publicly apologise for in a concise manner. You haven't done this, Kalvin. You can't just say, oh, I'm going through a rough time now, I'm gonna leave, and also unprivate the video that started this entire mess and that caused so much pain. How petty is that? We have clips of the video out there when it was private, Kalvin. We know what you said about Brennan and their appearance and how you insulted them. We know that. And no, you aren't responsible for the actions of every individual person, but you are responsible for what you say and what you do. And this continued pattern of videos on your channel has led your audience to believe that a continued pattern is okay. Everything you have now is built off the backs of the people you targeted. Vulnerable human beings, quite a few of them minors, who had no way to defend themselves. This is not an adequate way to address it. And if you need to take a break, go for it. If you need that for your mental health, go for it. But to unprivate the video as a last act of maliciousness against Brennan is disgusting. It's time to own up and take accountability, Kalvin. This isn't the time to run away and say, I'm going through a bad time. And yes, I do believe you are. I think losing a massive chunk of subscribers and having a lot of people criticise you would cause a bad time. But think of the bad times that you caused for the people you targeted and how you would want people to make it up to you. Address it rather than running away. This isn't how we deal with things. This isn't how adults deal with things. We don't throw rocks at houses and then run away. Well, maybe some adults do, but I don't. That's all I really have for this video, guys. The last thing he did was unprivate the video, and that really just, it was the final straw. I mean, I was pretty much on the edge anyway. I didn't want to say anything because plenty of the people who he's targeted had already come out and said their piece, but this is just one last kick in the teeth to them, and it's not fair, and it's not right. I hope something will be happier in the next video, God knows, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.